because that's why, you know, my dad was in the army back in the day. So he used to basically give us like that kind of like tough love. To be fair with you, I feel like, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. For me, personally speaking, I think, I didn't even call it. I think sometimes people like just love to say that word because it sounds like good, or that's why a lot of people use tough love. But for me personally, I don't think there was even any love with that, with how my dad treated us. Again, it wasn't bad, but obviously we got beats and full of these things. And the older I got, I understood as a parent that, you know what, I didn't even, cool, he tried to discipline us, to lead us so that we don't make some mistakes or whatever. But at the same time, I feel like, I just wish like there was like a balance. There was another side of like, you know, sitting down with you, even maybe a few hours or even the next day, sitting down with you and saying, listen, the reason why I was beating you, the reason why I did this to you, because da-da-da-da-da-da. You get me? But that side never got, you know, we never got that side. We literally just used to get one side, and that was it. And you can imagine you're young, you know, you're still working at the world, your brain is still developing. You're just thinking like, cool, I made a mistake, but why does my dad keep on beating me up? And it's like, you're not understanding it. So even like, going back to you as well, like, we've got, like I said at the beginning about, you know, how beautiful your relationship is with your kids and all of that, you know, like, as a black woman who is listening to two young black men also telling you that, unfortunately, with our parents, things wasn't really like that, Like, for all of us, I'm not going to speak for my friend, but I'll open up a little bit more again. It's like, even like now, I'm a grown man, but I'm still trying to process certain things with my parents. And I keep on thinking to myself, like, have I fully forgiven them? I don't mean this to go obviously too deep, whatever, but again, I'm sure there'll be even probably a lot of other black kids one day that might watch this and actually relate to a certain degree. But it's
I think all black kids can relate to this.
You get,
you know, because we was all in a certain similar situation. So we can all relate to this. But then for me, it's okay. You know, some people sort of begrudge their parents.
For real.
Because now, as for men as well, they grow up, they don't know how to love. Now they're in a relationships. They don't know how to behave in a relationship because they wasn't given that emotional side. So then men struggle. It's like, oh yeah, I want a girlfriend, but how do I be nice to her? I don't know how to treat her. I was never given that side. So that's why I emphasize for my kids, you know, you've got to be, you know, you show your soft side. There's no harm in that. You can say, I like you, I love you, whatever. It doesn't mean to say, oh, you're a weak person. You know, so it's literally, and for me, okay, yes, I wasn't told, oh, yes, I love you all the time. But I made sure that, I will tell my kids. You know, even me myself, because I didn't have that, I thought it was a new thing for me as well, saying it to my kids. So I had to make sure, I haven't said it for a while. I better say it. You know, to sort of, it was a learning curve. It was a learning curve. But then, like I said, a lot of young people, they struggle in relationships now because they wasn't given that love from that side.
And also, one thing that I realized as well, like I always, because I still do therapy. I do therapy, and sometimes I do it, especially when, you know, like we all have like hard weeks, certain weeks that are hard in others or months, right? And sometimes, you know, I check in with my therapist when I have like, you know, certain tough weeks. And one thing I've realized as well is, on my behalf, I'm ready, because even touch wood, like I keep on saying it to myself all the time, like even now I would love to sit down with my mum or my dad to just have nothing too controversial, to just have certain conversations. But it's like, once again, on their side, it's like they're not giving me any type of indication that they would ever be willing to ever sit down and just have a certain conversation. You know what I mean?
It's a struggle for them. It's a struggle for them. Because,
why is that though?
Because that's for them coming to terms of how they treated you or what they said to you. And they probably don't want to face up to that. Because now they probably realise, you know what, maybe just saying I love you wouldn't have been so bad.
But it's never too late.
And
we're not even making them feel bad. It's just I understand, mum, I understand, dad. But can we not ever sit down and proper just have... Because I'm not going to lie, there's like a gap in my... Probably, I don't know if this gap would ever get filled, where it's like, I wish I could. You see the way me and you're sitting down and talking about certain things with my mum?
You can't do that.
I wish I could do that.
You can't do that. And they're not ready for that. They're not ready for that. And the only thing I would say to you is, you know what? You got to put things in the past. Sometimes you just got to bury things there, leave it there, and work on yourself and your family. So what you didn't get from your immediate family, you can now go forward and use that in your family. So now when you have your own family, okay, I didn't get this from my parents, but you know what? I'm going to make sure my kids get it.
Yeah.
And that's the only way. And that is the only way. A lot of us want that conversation with, we're not going to get it.
That's what I've done.
We're not going to get it. And this another battle, especially like I said, the young black guys. I just feel so sorry because it's a journey and they're just fighting. And I love to say to them, the answer you're looking for is never going to happen.
I'm not going to lie, nobody's ever said that to me like that. I've always, you see through this conversation, like in my head, because I've always had this mentality of, you know, like a movie, like where you have certain, obviously, you know, like some scenes within a movie, and towards the end of the movie or whatever, you have certain things that make sense. I've always thought, at least, you know, like to not say too much with my dad, I feel like obviously I gave up a long time ago, but with my mum, till this second, I've always thought maybe one day we'll even be like maybe somewhere back in Uganda, in my country, sitting down or whatever, and finally just having a deep conversation and just talking about certain things. Once again, to not make her feel bad or whatever, to just
I'm a realistic person.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, I don't know much about your family.
Yeah.
But I will say to you, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Once you start having that conversation, she's probably gone through stuff in her life.
Yeah.
And that will now bring up. So if she has to go back there, it brings up a whole lot of other emotions. She doesn't want to go back there. You know, not just you, but other things that might have happened to her. Yeah. So it's too hurtful and it's too painful.
I understand.
So you saying, I want some answers, you're not going to get them.
Yeah, I never got any answers.
You wouldn't get them. And I will say to everybody, you know what? Bury it, put it in the past, but going forward with your own family, that's when you can change things.
100%. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it is a sad state of affair. It is sad because there's a lot of, I said, young black men out there hurting, and this is a lot of things. They're taking their frustration out on everybody else.
You know, moving on from one girl to another, like you said earlier. You know,
because they've never been taught about a relationship. They've never been taught, and this is where my son says, like, a woman can't raise a man. You need a man to say, look, this is how you treat a woman. This is what you do. You don't just jump from one to this and that. You need somebody of that caliber to teach them. And said, there's enough of us, but we're going wrong. We're going down the wrong path. And it's sad. And it's sad. I would love to. Like I said, I would love to preach more. So like your situation where I'm looking for answers, and I'll just be rude to you. You're never going to get that answer. You know, and that is me. Well, how things are.
Yeah, I was told that by, because the thing with me, because I've got more than one mum. That was because I got I was in put in care. Yeah. So I had to get my affection from that side of it, from them. Right. And over the years, obviously now I'm grown. I've still built up that relationship. Yeah. And even some of them have told me that you know what you went through there, like you're not gonna get that type of whatever reaction you're hoping for. You're not gonna get that. No. Because that's something that they can't change. There's too much history there.
That's it.
And I had to it's only through my older brother and my second oldest, it's like I started finding out certain things in stages. Yeah. And even though it shouldn't happen the way it happened, but had I not known, I wouldn't have understood it. But now, now that everything unfolded, I now understand. But this should have been said much more earlier. But obviously, I understand why it couldn't. I know. I know. Things that
but this is the thing. I think I don't know what we need to do, but we need to do a lot more to educate our own black guys of how the emotional side of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, and this, another you talk about mothers. Yeah. A lot of mothers have a big part to play. The mothers want a kid. Get with a guy, have a kid. They have an argument with the guy. Oh, you're not seeing your kid anymore. The guy's not giving money. Oh, you're not seeing your kid anymore. They're not realising the impact it has on the child not having the father in its life. But the woman's so fixated on punishing. This is what I don't like this side of things to women. They're punishing the guy. Oh no, you can't see your kid. You didn't give no maintenance money. You didn't do this. And then the kid now grows up without having a dad. That's supposed to be an important part of its life. That's the thing I cannot get my head around. You know, I can't get my head around that. How, and then that's another kid grown up without his dad, doesn't know about the man's side of him, doesn't know about this, and that's a sad state of affair. I've never known such a generation to be going to court, guys getting custody of their children. I've never known that so much now, fighting for their own child, for their own child.
It's crazy.
You got
you know,
you get certain men who, for whatever reason, because obviously everybody's going through their own mental battles, whatever. Only people knows what people individually are going through in their minds. What are your thoughts on certain men who say, "Listen, I'm not gonna waste all of this energy to go into this system and fight for my child because you know, like these guys wasn't here when I was making a baby." But like, you know, like you got men who say, "I'm not gonna do all of that, fight and go court and do all of that, but whenever you're ready, I'm always gonna be here for my child, and whenever you're ready, I'm always gonna be here to be a dad." Like, what are your thoughts on them kind of guys? Because the only reason why I asked that, like, you know, that sometimes you get society, certain people judging certain men, saying, "Well, if you really loved your child, you would do whatever it takes. You know, you go and fight." But once again, like, people need to understand that everybody's going through their own different journey. Everybody's going mentally. Everybody has got a different capacity. Like, what are your thoughts on them kind of people?
Well, I've seen both spectrums. I've seen the guys where, like, whatever penny I've got, I will fight for my child. I want my child to know. And this thing will drag on for years and years and years and years. And then eventually, 99% of the time, oh, the child's 16, 18 now. Oh yeah, you can see your dad lives down the road. But the guys fought all them years.
Crazy.
Right. And then some guys were like, no, actually, no, I'm not wasting my money.
My energy.
When my child reached 16 or 18,
I'm here.
My child comes looking for me, I will explain to my child the situation. Yeah. But at the same time, the time's gone.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, the time's gone. And the kids will say, where were you at parents' evening? Where were you at my sports day? The important occasions, you weren't there. So I get the guys, like, they don't want to fight, they don't want to waste the money. But you know what? If you know it's parents' evening, you turn up. You know it's sport day, you turn up. Those are the things that are important. It's not, the child don't want to know, oh, I've been fighting all these years for you. It doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any difference. When they go to certain places and they were like, oh, where's my dad? Oh, he was a single mother. Oh, okay, another single mother. Yeah. I made sure, even though dad didn't really get on that well, but I made sure, this is parents' evening, you turn up. This is college evening, you turn up. Yeah. It's up to you whether you turn up or not. You know, and this is the thing about, like I said, I don't like about mothers. I get certain situations it's not possible, or they don't want the child to have contact with the father, but you have to know who your father. It's part of who you are.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, it's a bit like saying, "Oh, you've only got my side of the family. Focus on that." No, he also has enough. Whether it be good or bad, the child has to know its roots.
Of course.
The child has to know where it's coming from, and it's sad. But me personally, I would say, you know what? If someone's stopping you from seeing your child, you know what? You turn up at parents' evening. You turn up at sports. That's what's important for the child. Not for you to child when the child reaches 18 for you to say, oh, I fought for you all this time. It doesn't make the slightest bit of difference.
Yeah. No. The thing is, my dad was there, but there was certain things that because he used to do a lot for me when I was younger. So he was there. But it's just that due to certain things in the background, especially when I was in foster care,
right,
that's where that relationship side got cut off.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially like at the time I was with my mum during those times, and it was very hard, like for him to like visit, you know what I mean? And especially when you're in the foster care system, there's certain things that is allowed and not allowed.
Yeah.
So it made it hard for him. I think that's the reason why he wasn't able to really see me. There was like a period where I didn't see him for a while. And there was one altercation that happened that I remember, and like it was hurtful for me because like I didn't see him after that day. The altercation with him and my mom happened. So, you know, it's only then he kept trying, but couldn't get anything because now in the foster cases they look at my dad's background. And it wasn't too big. Right. So they were like, oh, it's one of them, you can't just find another alternative, who can you go to? So that's what made it hard for him. So I totally get it. It's only like when I went back, because obviously I went back and like he spoke with me and it really, I could tell it really hurt him because he tried so hard but he wasn't getting what he wanted. And he said like, if it wasn't for that, you know, you would probably be in St. Lucia with your family there. Went to school there. But he just wasn't able to do that. You know what I mean? So
I do think guys and men they do get a raw deal. They really do get a raw deal. And it is bad. It is bad. And I would love to say to women, come on. You know, the kid is the man plays an important part, especially in a young man's life. It really makes a difference. 100%. So it's sad that but then you got the flip side where guys, they're like, oh, I'm not giving her any maintenance money because she's going to spend the money on herself.
Yeah, exactly. There is that.
You know, like I have nephews. They have kids. They have broken relationship, and I sit down and talk to them. Like, have you given her any money? Nah, because then she's going to go use it to go raving and this and that and this and that. And I'll say to them, listen, okay, if you give her £50 this week, she might go out and buy herself a pair of shoes or a dress. That's fine. So, are your kids fed? Yes. Are they watered? Yes. Do they have nice clothes? Yes. Are they going to school? Are they looked after? Yes. There you go. At some point, your kids are getting taken care of. Yeah. Do you think if you don't give her £50 next week, your kids are not going to get fed? Your kids are not going to get water. They're not going to she's still going to look after them. And this is the mentality from the guy side of things. I'm not going to ever give her money because she's going to spend the money on the kids. Your kids are still surviving somehow.
True.
You know, so that side of things, like I will say to my nephews, you still turn up, you still pay up, regardless. If you go for your kids this week and they say, no, you're not having them, you still do your bit. You don't, there's too much vengeance and there's too much of that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
I also want to ask you something, you know, like, and I'm sure, you know, that over the years, you know, you've seen what I'm about to ask you a lot of the times with our people, and I just wanted to get your take on this, like, you know, like, why are, obviously it's good for people, everybody, for human beings to like nice things. We all like nice things, right? But my question is, why are us black people so materialistic? Why are we so materialistic in a way?
Because it's considered as wealth, isn't it? It's considered as being rich.
Even the ones who are struggling.
But the thing is, like I said, it's a sad state of affair.
Yeah.
It's a bit like, okay, if I've got this Louis Vuitton top on, people look at me like you've got money, right? But the thing is, you don't have any money. You've literally, people will spend their whole wages just to buy like a Jimmy Choo bag to think, I've got... No.
Crazy.
No. And this is the thing I've learned from a very early age. Well, when I started working, worked for this Jewish man in Jewish company. The man have a tatty shirt on, tatty trousers. Like, you've got money. I don't need to prove I've got money. That's what he said to me. I don't need to prove I've money. He goes, we can walk. He goes, in fact, let's walk down the street. That person does not have money. That person doesn't have money. That person's rich. And the person he's pointing at, the rich man, is a man with a tatty old sweater, little moccasin shoes or whatever. He said, that's the rich person. He goes, you can always tell the poor people, because the poor people are trying to make out they have money. And that's the thing. That's the thing. And in our eyes, we need to be wearing these things to make us look like we've got money, but we don't have money.
Yeah. And another thing I want to share, I want to ask you, again, these are just all reality questions, because a lot of these conversations we have behind closed doors. So obviously, when we've got people like you on the red chair, I think it's always interesting to get obviously your perspective and what you think about these as well. Like, obviously, I understand as a man, you should get yourself in a certain position to be able, if you get in a relationship, you know, to support a woman or your household or yourself in general, With that said, why do you think certain black women, they're still like certain, we're not saying everybody, but why do you think, what, in your personal opinion, why do you think a certain portion of black women still like, they're basically like, they turn up, if this is the right word, they turn up their noses on a person who doesn't really have much, rather than maybe being a bit open-minded to kind of like get with that person and build together, if you get where I'm coming from. If you get what I'm trying to say, because a lot of people, I speak to a lot of guys and they say, listen, unless I've got this, unless I've got that, they don't want to know. You get what I'm trying to say, unless I'm this and that, they're not willing to even build or whatever. You get me? Because I feel like the older we get, you know, like this black love. Yeah, you know, like the essence of black love, literally sticking together. Maybe you might, you know, when you start telling us, maybe you might tell us maybe to forget about all of that, times have changed or whatever. But what happened to just like, you get what I'm trying to say, getting together and just building together a black man and a black woman? Of course, there's a lot of them doing it, but we're talking about, you know, like there's levels.
My mum would say, Tina Turner would say, what's love got to do with it? Love ain't paying the bills. Yeah, love isn't paying the mortgage. And this is the thing. It's not built on love. Yeah, we need to go shopping. You telling me you love me? Yeah, we're not going to eat on that. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
This is the reality of it. Yeah. So even like my mum said, oh, when you meet someone, you know, you need to find out if they're in a good job and things like that, so you can live comfortably and everything. And I'll be like, yeah, but to me, it's more of the connection. Yeah. You connect with that person, you love with that, you have that connection. I was like, so what happened when the bills start coming in? The reminders, the eviction. Where's the love there? And this is why women are now fixated on that. Because it's at the end of the day, love ain't buying the shopping, love ain't paying the bills. Yeah. And there's another thing, sort of going back to my mum and dad's era, back then, or sort of way back, the men went out to work and the women stayed at home. The men were the breadwinners. The women looked after the kids, looked after the home and things like that. Yeah. And this is what the women are trying to revert back today. You know, I'll just stay at home and look after the kids. You go out and do the work. You go and do the job and bring the money in. Yeah. The guys are like, we don't live in that era now. Things are so expensive.
It's true.
We both need to work. Yeah. You know, we both need to be bringing in the money. So women trying to revert it back to how it was in the day, but we can't live in that lifestyle now.
Okay.
You know, we can't live in that. I can't sit at home. There's mortgage to pay, there's bill to pay. It needs two people's income to survive, to live now. Yeah. And that's the reality of it. But they're trying to go back to that era where, the man brings his pay packet on a Friday. There you go. There's the bills, what change left over. I'll go down the pub with my friends. And we can't live like that now because things are so expensive. The women needs to go out to work as well. You need two incomes. And this is the problem.
I understand. Yeah. And even before we leave you, like, I just want to ask you, like, obviously we live in very interesting times at the moment, right? These times are very interesting. What are your thoughts on the world, just in general, like this world that we're living in?
It's a mad world. It's a mad world. And the thing is, you can't take too much on board. If not, you drive yourself mad.
Bingo, yeah.
And this is it. And this is what I say to my mum. I will get in my car. I will go to work. I will come. I've got blinkers on. Yeah. I'm not looking. I said, if I was a policeman, you know how many people I would have nabbed by now? I was like, oh, you're doing that. Oh, you're doing that. Yeah. Like, no, I just focus on, oh, so-and-so got stabbed at the top of the road. Oh, crazy. Okay. Did they survive? Yeah. Oh, that's good. You just need to focus on yourself. Because if it's bad, what's going on in the world, and it's unnecessary, a lot of it's unnecessary. all these wars and things that's going on.
Crazy.
It's unnecessary. And I wish someone will put a stop to this.
Of course, yeah.
You know, it's bad, innocent people this is happening to, and it's wrong. And that's what gets to me, is like the powers that be, like, this needs to stop and this needs to stop today. But no one's doing that. They're letting it carry on and carry on and carry on.
Of course.
You know.
And I feel like if you know, like with the news, if you just pay a lot of these things that are going on around the world so much attention, I feel like it will kill you early. It will give you so much anxiety. It will make you worry about so much things, and it's like it will just basically like make you lose.
It's depressing. It's
depressing.
It's nice because sometimes Mum will say to me, "Oh, have you listened to news?" I was like, "No, I can't listen to news. It's just so much." Or I'm not going to turn on the TV, see what kids got, died and got shot and everything like that. And I think, but I can't. You can't take too much on because you've got to think about your own personal mental health.
Exactly.
You know, there's a lot of bad things going on, but at the same time, sometimes you just got to have your blinkers on and just focus. Yeah. But still be mindful. Still be mindful. It's like Christmas time. My daughter wanted to go West End to hairdressers or whatever. Well, I had the teddies with me, and there was a Palestine march going on. Like, come on, teddies, we're going to the march. You know, so we took part in that. But there's other things you can sort of do to support and show your respect to certain things. But it's tough. It's a tough world.
People usually say, like, obviously the good and the bad comes with life. This is reality, right? The good, the bad, the yin and the yang. Do you both like in this room think, like, with the way the world is getting, there's too much bad more than good in this world? Do you think?
Yeah, there's too much bad. And
you get what I'm trying to say?
And the thing is, what I'm saying, the powers could turn that around.
Exactly, because that's what I think sometimes.
This is what is wrong about it. The powers to be could turn it around in one day and make such a difference.
Imagine.
And it's not happening.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. They profit off the chaos, I would say.
That's right.
Yeah.
Why would they want to change it if it's benefiting them? So.
It's wrong. It's wrong.
Yeah. To conclude this conversation, I just wanted to last question, like, for all of, like, like, people usually say today, like, this, we've got a crazy generation, right? The new generation, the this, the that. Before we go off, like, is there any message you would like to, like, any wisdom, any, like, any kind words or any wisdom you would like to say to this new generation that people seem to think they're out of control?
They're not out of control. They just need to be led in the right direction.
Yeah.
And this is a thing, after a while people get fed up, and they get fed up of talking, they fed up of educating. And I would say you just got to persevere, because you're our own, and you can't stop, you can't give up on your own. That's giving up on yourself. So perseverance, you can take a step back, but then you need to rein the kids in. You need to rein the kids in, you know? Yeah. Nah, thank you. This has been beautiful, man. This has been incredible. Brenda, honestly, thank you so much. The LV Teddies, thank you so much, guys. I know you've been very quiet. You didn't get much of a look in my head. They did. But it's important to... Of course. Yeah. To be real. And this is what a lot of us ain't doing. Yeah. We're not being real about life.
No, we have to.
About life. And it's sad. It's sad. But like I said, I'm doing my things through my kids. And I get it. It's like, okay, so my older son, Mr. K, he's doing his music. I've got another son, Fabian, he's doing mixologist, and then my daughter, she's a nursery nurse. But I knew that I'm doing okay in life and everything like that, and I want to give something back. You have to tell them from day one. You have to tell them their roots, where they come from, because that then pans out on how they go forward in life. In life, exactly. And then for them, other people now having their own family. And now you have your family, you want to tell your kids about your history. oh, Daddy, where did you come from? And you're like, oh, I don't really know. Or, you know, well, and then then now you get in a bit of a twist because you're there searching for answers that you didn't get. And then now for yourself, you're now following on the journey. Well, I suppose I better now find out. And it starts to get messy because you're now no longer focusing on your kid. You're now focused on the answers that you never get.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so that's a whole new, that's a whole new topic altogether. Exactly. Altogether.
No, we definitely have to. We definitely. Hopefully soon. Obviously, depending on your schedule and your time. Hopefully soon. And do you know what I would love to do as well? What I would love to do, hopefully next time, hopefully soon, anyway, you know, have Mr. Kelly King right next to you as well. You know, have a conversation, you know, going, you know, back and forth, you and your son, and we'll talk about certain things. But honestly, it's been amazing, man. It's been a big pleasure, man.
It's been nice. And
thank you so much, man.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there any, before we go, because we usually tell people, isn't it, like, before we go, is there anything you would like to tell the people about the teddy bears? Any up and coming thing? Obviously, we're gonna put the socials, but just in general, if
the
anything
have
like that to say.
A few events coming up. I won't say too much. I won't say but obviously you'll see the teddies all out and about and everything. But it's like they're progressing all the time.
Love to see.
Yeah, they're progressing all the time. So and the thing is, like I said, I want this to be us working together. Together. So even like I might do some footage with the teddies, and then I will say to my nephew, right, edit, do that for me. So for me going forward, when I'm going into things, or as the teddies get more recognised, if we're starting doing shows and things like that, I already know, I've got my photographer guy there. I've got my video guy there. I don't need to go outside
to book strangers.
To book other people. If I know you've got a talent, right, you're the man for this. And I think this is how you grow and how you grow your team.
Absolutely.
Or something like that. Like if you're an illustrator or whatever, like, hey, maybe you can do a book about the teddies. Maybe you can do something, you know.
I love the way you think, man. I love
this is what I think this is how you incorporate everybody into it.
And everybody can play the position.
Yeah.
And everybody can keep on, you know, like pushing forward as a team.
Yeah. That's it. And that's what I say. Team Teddy.
Team Teddy. I love that one as well. Team Teddy.
Team
Teddy. I love that one as well. Team Teddy.
And this is another thing I'm trying to show people. We can help each other.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and it is never too late.
Absolutely
never too late.
Yeah. But yeah, man, honestly, thank you so much, man. Brenda Kelly King. LV Teddy.
I'm LV Teddy now. I don't have that name anymore. I'm LV Teddy.
LV Teddy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
You know, like peace and love each and every time, yeah? I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you.
Always love, yeah? Peace.
Right.